Well, hello, family, and welcome to Coffee with Keith and a conversation with Dr. John Wynn. I am your man, Coffee with Keith, from the Coffee with Keith radio show. I am super excited tonight to begin this conversation, this amazing dialogue with an awesome man of God, a man of integrity and valor, but also just a great husband, great father, film producer, music ministry extraordinaire, and just doing wonderful things, not just in our community, but also within the film community by creating movies that allows our families to go enjoy and be a part of. So without further ado, I am super excited to introduce my guest tonight, Dr. John Wynn. Dr. John Wynn, hello, sir. How are you?
Hey, Coffee with Keith. How are you, my friend?
Man, listen, I am fantastic, and I'm even better now to be having this conversation with you. It has been absolutely amazing just to watch some of the work that you have done. But let me kind of run back and tell the people a little bit kind of how we connected, and more importantly, what makes this such a unique conversation. So, for those of you who don't know, I am Coffee with Keith. I host a radio show called Coffee with Keith, now going streaming podcasts. I have a YouTube channel as well, in which I have been in the coffee industry for 23 years, doing nothing but talking about coffee. But now we're talking about coffee from a different perspective, and that is doing coffee in a way that we push the conversation forward for the culture, meaning we introduce and have those conversations that most of our culture don't get involved in. And so that is why I'm super excited tonight to talk to a pioneer like Dr. John Wynn, who is doing some amazing work. And if you haven't had a chance to check out some of his works that he's doing, the Wynn Network, and we'll talk about all of that tonight in this short segment. But certainly, we want to make sure that we push this conversation forward and that people get to know you. So, Dr. Wynn,
Yes,
so
sir.
many things to get to know about you in this short period of time. But first of all, obviously, I want to know what kind of coffee consumer are you, sir?
You know what? I have to say, when I need a real kick, I go to the macchiato when I need a real kick, and then when I
Gotcha.
do like
Okay.
daily, when I want something kind of refreshing, the frappuccino, the caramel frap. So I'm
I got you. Got. That's a very popular drink, and it's totally understandable. I got it. I'm just a straight black coffee guy, but that's because in all of my years, I've tried just about every coffee, and I always revert back to my straight black coffee. So I've told the people about me. Obviously, that's not why they're here. We want to know about Dr. John Wynn. Obviously, I've done a little research, read the bio on you, but for the people who are meeting you for the first time tonight, tell us a little bit about Dr. John Wynn, uh, just everything about you. I was going to say the pastor, the producer, the filmmaker, and we'll get into all of that, but kind of tell us a little bit about Dr. John Wynn.
I think the first and foremost thing about me that I'm a father of eight children, four boys and
Hmm,
four girls, and a wife that I've been married to for 30 years.
nice.
With that being said, I think everything else that has come down the line has been um, a byproduct of what I have done with my family. A lot of things I
Hmm,
haven't been able to do without my family, but because of my wife and my children having the same vision, I think they have helped me become who I am even more so from the perspective of helping me frame what God has placed in me. So I think with
hmm.
that being said, I'm a man that loves his family and loves God. And that's the
That's awesome.
simple answer. That's the simple answer.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. So eight children, four boys and four girls.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
that is awesome.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, I was listening to a video or a interview that you did with a young lady, and you talked a lot about your family, and I was really intrigued by that because oftentimes people seem to get into business or into life work, and family gets kind of left behind, and we all go our different ways and somehow become fragmented. But I was so intrigued by the fact that you have incorporated family even into every dynamic of your ministry. Can you tell me why that's so important to you?
Well, I got a book behind me that you see, Wrestling with God. I started pastoring when I was 25 years old, and
Mm,
and being under the organization that I was in, I got promoted in different areas. And then at one time I had three churches. So I was in Sacramento, Reno, and Las Vegas, which is like miles, 8 hours apart from one another to 10. So
okay.
I'm flying at 30 years old, I'm going, and my kids are growing, and I'm not having time for my family because I'm moving and going in the name of Jesus. And
Hmm.
it wasn't until 2007 I broke my femur, and and what was happening is my kids didn't even know who I was because I was gone so much running
Wow.
for Jesus until I broke my femur, until I couldn't get to the bathroom, and the son I was ready to strangle was the one that was there to help me get to the toilet. So
Wow.
when you get hurt, you put things in perspective. So I'm doing all this stuff, running for this person, doing all these things for the churches. Every week I'm gone until my daughter wrote a book. She said she wrote an essay in college, the break that healed the family.
Mm,
So it was always me and my wife, but my kids were younger. So sometimes as a father, you're thinking that it's the external that's more important than the internal of your heart and your mind and your spirit, as well as the internal of your house. And so when I gained perspective after breaking my leg, and those people that you thought was going to be there, some of them said, "Hey, go over there. You don't have time." And a mother literally told me, she said, "John, she said, people counted you out. We didn't think that you were going to bounce back." And then I went to one service, and one of the pastors said, he said, "You did more with a broken leg than you did with both of them." So I think the gaining perspective of who I was and what was important to me changed when I was 37. And that's when I really started involving. But I always prayed for my kids young. But then when you get
mm,
caught up, you're trying to save everybody else. And sometimes we
right.
need, I gain perspective by saying, you know what, let me see about my children. Let me help my kids, groom them, raise them up, and then teach them. And then I looked at them from the perspective of their abilities, their own natural talent and giftings. It wasn't a
Mm,
force of me thrusting my will on them, but I was watching their own ability, and then I cultivated it and prayed for them, and then put them in the right area and brought them around the right people to help them. So that's how the
wow. I
family
love
dynamic
that.
really came into place. It was after I was running and I busted my leg, and I realized, wait a minute, what's important here? And I was lucky
Right.
I got a hold of them, and then I homeschooled them, which was what really I put them in Christian school early, then I put them in regular school. And when we were in Vegas, my son said, he was in high school then, he said, "Dad, if you want us to make it, you better homeschool us, because if you don't homeschool us, we're not going to make it." Because he said they're having sex
Right.
in the bathroom, they're doing all kinds of stuff. So that's when we homeschooled our kids and started raising them and rearing them in that fashion, which was a blessing for us.
Yeah. Wow. That is awesome to have that insight and to have the kind of the spouse and the support that you have speaks volumes. And so that's truly amazing. Really amazing story. So, talk to me a little bit about. I know that the Wynn production or Wynn Network started around 2017.
Mhm.
Is that right? So, talk to me a little bit about your history. I know your family are dynamic singers. Your sisters, you come from a family of you're a preacher's kid, right?
Yeah, on third generation.
Gotcha. So, preacher's kid, how did that all come about? And then, more importantly, how did the Win Network come around in 2017? And then you've done so much in just what 4 or 5 short years.
Yes,
Talk to
sir.
us a little bit about that.
Well, my dad was the first African American on the governor's cabinet, and he was the first African American on local TV in Reno, Nevada. They
Mm,
said Reno was the Mississippi of the West coming up, and my father was on KME TV 21, and he on Thursday they would do two tapings for the church. So I was intrigued with the production. So I would go and watch the director and the production and the cameras and look around, and I guess I was exposed to it by my father. And so when I
Mhm.
got older, the Lord led me to television to be on television myself. So as I was on
Mm.
television, I wrote a book called New Levels, New Devils that dealt with the media. And he gave me the blueprint in 1997 about the power of the media in 2000. That wasn't going to happen in the millennium. And I said, you're going to see the enemy take full control of the airways in the 21st century. Not to know that, not knowing that AOL and Time Warner was going to be the largest merger of any sort of medium back in 2000. And
Wow.
sometimes we're not in tune to hear where we belong or where God is
Right.
shifting us to. And he's always, if you look, and I always ask myself, what gives me permission to operate at this level that I'm at? Because God will always give you a vision or give you a touch of where you're going or where you belong in your early days. You've been exposed
Wow.
to it, you've been around it, you touched it, you tasted it, you saw it, you had conversations about it. You could trace anybody famous. You could trace anybody famous, and let me get back here. You trace anybody famous, and you could go back to their beginning, that they had some type of connection to where they are today. And so the Wynn Network got how the Wynn Network came into practice. I was driving, and the Holy Spirit said, I've given you media, I've given you publishing, and I've given you music, and you've done nothing with it. And I just began to
Mm.
bawl. And the next day, this gentleman was reaching out to me for 5 years on Facebook. Hey, I want to show you how to do this. And he showed me how to start the network. And that's how it all began. And then I took it further and got deeper into it. And God blessed me with the right people along the path to give me the knowledge and the information that I needed to grow.
Wow. And so here we are now, 5 years later, 4 or 5 years later, and you're working on your third
Yes.
film, right?
Third film. Most I have done a lot of different sitcom series, documentaries, but this is our
Yeah.
third film. Mhm.
And before I get into those films, I don't want to certainly don't want to overlook or certainly I want to highlight just how important or how huge the Win Network is. We can't just kind of gloss over that, right?
Mhm.
When you're talking about starting a network of having shows on your own network, can you give the audience a little details about what they can expect when they go and check out the Win Network?
Well, you know what? The Win Network is an inspirational entertainment network. You can
Mm,
download it for free. You can watch it for free. Winnetwork.com. Please download it and share. Please, that'd be great. And we our focus our focus is just like a network: ABC, NBC, CBS, except with a more inspirational type of message. Some of it may have language and fighting or what have you, because we're still into that space. But yet, we want, when you come away with watching Win Network, we want you to be inspired. If you want to be inspired, you can be inspired. If you want to watch a drama, you can watch a drama. You want comedy, you can watch comedy. You want cooking shows, you can watch cooking shows. You want a doc, you can watch a doc. So we have infused our network with inspiration, and that's just one facet of it. We also have a 24-hour channel that you can just watch like a regular television 24 hours a day. And if you go to winnetwork.com, it's on the top line. It says 24/7. You can watch it. You get all the different shows during the day and at night, from midnight to in the morning. You get preaching, teaching, praying, what have you. It's 24 hours a day. And we're also have what they call, we're on basic television. We also have a basic television channel in the Central Valley of California, 32 channel 32.5, 35.2, excuse me, 35.2, that plays 24 hours a day if you're in the Valley, Fresno area. And
mm.
or if you're on Roku, Apple TV, Fire Stick, your phone, you can download the app for free and watch it for free. The only thing that we charge is the new releases. Other than that, you can watch the whole platform for free, and we want everybody and their mother to tell their friends, family about it and enjoy it, and get behind us and support just watching it. And I'm sure it's
Yeah.
something for everybody.
Yeah, no, it is, and I've shared it obviously with my family and friends, and certainly I will share with my followers as well, because I think it's so amazing that in this day and age, right, that we can find something that is wholesome and and that is good for us to watch and not in fear of what's going to be shown on today. Let me ask you something about that, about just that. So, how difficult was it for you to create the Wynn Network in today's media climate? I know I read something before where you talked a little bit about how you ended up where you are to create your network because they were more apropos to allow for more Christian or faith-based networking. So, can you talk a little bit about how you got to where you were and how difficult was it for you to in today and age, as you mentioned, the mergers of Time Warner and getting into that market and saying, listen, we still believe that God is doing something within the life of the believer that we can present to people who want to have to continue to hold on to their faith.
Well, one thing I like about our platform, because we have another platform coming out called Win Plus, and Win Plus
Mm,
is going to be more of a secular, inspirational, but people will be able to connect with that platform, either rent the platform where people can buy the movies or rent the movies, just like iTunes. So it'll be similar to that. Um, I think, and I'm fortunate the platform that I'm on that hosts us is faith based, and I took their platform to a whole nother level. They wasn't expected. They said to me, they said, "You are using our platform what we dreamed of doing." And
wow.
so we were able in the pandemic to we had 10 channels. We were able to lease channels out to pastors to stream on their church services on Sunday and during the week, which was a blessing to them. They didn't know what they were going to do. We helped them know how to set up their streaming, from bishops to pastors to doctors to what have you. And so we have used our platform for inspiration, but also I like to be entertained. I mean, I'm not going to be real. My mom asked me, "Are you going to go watch this face-based movie, John?" I said, "No, I'm going to go watch Die Hard. I want to see some shooting today." So, I mean, I'm a realist. I like good action films. I like good drama. I like good comedy. I like good stories, period. And I just
Mm,
think that's what we try to do with us is that because we're Christians don't mean we have to be corny and we can't be realistic in
right.
an approach of a movie. You can't get away. I mean, my movie Mirror Mirror has some language in it and it's based on some reality, and some people say, "I don't believe you did." Well, that's life. I mean, and then one guy said to me, he said, "If it didn't have the language in it, I wouldn't have watched the movie." But it was driven,
Exactly.
not, it was a purpose for it. We want to make sure being purposeful in our filmmaking and not just doing something because that's what society wants. That's not why I make films. Our films have to be driven with entertainment because it's an entertainment country, but yet with some inspiration. So we keep that model in mind. We want to be deliberate in our inspiration, but we also want to be deliberate in our entertainment. So somebody said, "Well, that ain't real. They ain't have well, it's entertainment." I mean, give me a break. I mean, some things are driven by an idea, and some things are driven by truth. And any man that has a good movie, his movie is going to have some form of truth in it in order to make the audience believe in the story.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
is it hard? Was it hard? It's very challenging. I think the challenging part is the if business is easy. I have I have many businesses and I still have multiple business. Business is easy. Making money
Hmm.
is easy for your business. But what's hard about this is the branding, getting people to
Mm,
go to the name Win Network, just like when you're driving and you see the golden arches. That's what
yeah.
makes television and this medium hard is the branding, because it's not based
Yeah.
on just a product. I could sell you some. Oh yeah, I like that. You could buy that. You don't even have to know the name.
Hmm.
But media, it's all driven by branding. Everything. Think
Wow.
about it. ABC, Netflix, CBS, Hulu. It's all name driven. It's branding in this game. And that's the hardest
Mm,
part about doing this is because you're not just in a town, you're worldwide, you're nationwide. You're trying to, we've connected with London, got to connect in London. We're connected in Africa, in Europe. That's
yeah,
good for us. But in America, it's hard to get people to think differently, like you said earlier, we talked, because they don't want to. Oh, I know what
right,
Netflix is when I tell them what the Wynn Network. What was the network? How do you get on that? Same way you get on Facebook. I mean, same way you get on anything else. Just think,
right,
WynnNetwork.com. I don't, and they don't want to think because that's the hard part to get people to think about the
yeah,
brand, to connect with the brand that I could watch like on all day Sunday. We have Carlton
yeah,
Pearson, the news of music. We have our own personal. We have the latest gospel artists. We have the Double Word. We have preaching. We have on Sundays. It's on 24/7 channel. It's a Sunday show, and it's like BET used to do Lift Every Voice. My IG music is like Lift Every Voice, where you can hear interviews, you can hear good music, and just start your day on Sunday morning at 6 o'clock East Coast time. I mean West Coast time, 9 o'clock. IG starts on East Coast time. So that's the difficult part, getting people to
right.
connect with this. This is what we're
Mm,
trying to get people to connect with, the Wynn Network. You already know the name. The name's already
yeah.
branded. Uncle Steve for Steve Casinos. But we named it the Wynn Network because of my father. I didn't name it because of me. I
Yeah.
named it after my father, who's behind me here on this side, right there in his
Hmm.
government official attire. But that's the hard part about the business. Business is easy, but getting the
Yeah.
brand to where people connect to the brand to where they just don't want to move. We have Andy Griffith on there. We have Beverly Hillbillies. We have Popeye the Sailor Man, as well as original comedy or original Alfred Hitchcock. We have Alfred Hitchcock stuff. We have
Mm,
shorts, documentaries, things we have done, cooking shows. So we're proud of what we have built for the last 4 years. We're going on our fifth year next year. But me and my daughters and my family, we have worked have with everything in us, and we're still working. So the more people tell their friends, the more people share and watch an hour a day, and how they can help me is call the numbers on the commercials because it's free. So buy something from the television. If you see something you
yeah.
like, even if you don't like it, give it to your mama. Call. That helps us financially, which we because it's free. We're offering it free to the people.
Wow. Wow. It's interesting that you say that because I feel your passion in making sure, uh, being in business and understanding how important branding is. Because sometimes I've always had this feeling that, man, do people really understand what's at the heart of what I am trying to achieve here?
Mm.
Not anything else, but what's at the heart of what I'm trying to introduce you to something different. So I hear your passion in making sure that people understand the branding part of the Win Network, and more importantly, what is being offered. And what's funny, and I'll say this and move on, because you talked about uh, people asking the question, well, how easy or how difficult? Because we find time to get to know or do things that we want to do,
Want to do.
but we choose to not do. Netflix was never popular. Netflix started out just like you, right? We have made Netflix popular because we have chosen to get involved with the process, right?
Right.
And so Netflix, and just like every other brand, began somewhere. And so we have to start acknowledging those brands like yours who have the same values, the same culture or identity as was, to start supporting those brands. I think that's vital. I'll say the same thing at coffee all the time. If people really understood the vitality of supporting black coffee in the way that it needs to be supported, we'll see a different mindset within the coffee community. But that's the topic for another discussion. I want to continue to talk about. You brought up your movie Mirror Mirror. I also want to talk about, probably out of those two, Playhouse had to be my favorite four. And I got to tell you guys, go check them out. I've sent them via YouTube to my team and to some other people in the family to check out. And I was having a conversation today about Playhouse with someone, but I loved the whole concept because you spared no expense, and you. It looked like, in my, I could be wrong, but it looked like you went out and got actors and actresses who truly are gifted at what they do. They're passionate about it, and these are. I think I heard you say in one of your deals, you go to the same place that Hollywood goes to get their actors or role or casting calls, I guess is what it's called, to find your people. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, our we did two movies. We did John Wynn's Mirror Mirror, which I was fortunate to have Tom Sizemore, who played in Saving Private Ryan's,
Yep.
Heat, all kind of stuff. Tom has played in almost over 100 films. Noel G, who played in Fast and Furious, he played in several films. He was even on a sitcom, and Judy Evans, who played in Days of Our Lives. So we were, and Vincent M. Ward, who played in The Walking Dead, and he's played in a plethora of films as well. So I was fortunate to get for my first film, get real actors that were A went to B, but then on this one, we were able to get some actors, some young actors. We wanted to get a
Hmm.
younger generation, newer actors that were up and coming to do this Playhouse. Because at first it was going to be a sitcom, but then I felt led to just do a full fledged uh, s- uh, theatrical. So I got some writers together with along me with the concept I came up with for the particular movie, and we put it together, wrote it, and put some elements in it to make it realistic with issues that people are dealing with. Now, some people might say, "Well, I ain't no therapist." The catch of it, I don't want to give away the movie, but it was a catch of that film with the therapist, the guy, because he was also prophetic. So people don't
Yeah.
understand that if you ain't been in church. So, but that was the undertone of what he was doing. And so
Yeah.
so we wanted to deal with issues of young people that, and most of those young people that he talked to in real life were dealing with some of those same issues. They were crying. They said, man,
Yeah.
I'm dealing with these certain things that he said to us. So it was entertaining. Some people were scared by it, some thought it was creepy. But if you saw the post production, when we was in post production, I mean, if we didn't put all the music in there, and you heard some of the stuff Curvin Smith was saying, man, it was a comedy show,
Yeah.
man. We cut so much stuff out of that. He was saying some crazy,
Really.
but
Wow.
we put it,
Listen, I
yeah.
I listen, and I regret this, but so we've got about 3 minutes, and I feel like I can talk forever about what you're doing, and maybe we can do another segment of this because I really want to talk about. I really want to get to because you talked about what people were saying, and I'll tell you from my perspective, your that Playhouse movie hit on so many issues that I'm encouraging everyone. If go to YouTube, go to Wynn Network, look, check it out.
You know
John
what?
Wynn's Playhouse.
You can see it on Tubi too for free. TUBI.
Tubi. Okay.
You can watch it on Tubi for free if you don't have it. So, and Mirror
Yeah,
Mirror, both of them on Tubi. TUBI free, and
man,
that's for that.
amazing stuff. So all of that to say this, you're working on a show now that's coming out in the spring of 2022. Tell the people about that real quick before we get off, and then we'll try to connect some other time.
Okay, the new movie I just finished shooting, and we're in post. We're editing as we speak. It's called John Wynn's 1 Hour. It's a sci-fi piece, but it's true based on some truth about me going in the past to talk to my father. So in the process of what happened, I have developed this project that I think it would really change the world for other people. But in the process, angel comes to me. I have a heart attack or what have you, and the angel comes to me and says, "You have 1 hour to go talk to your father and ask him the three questions. But the thing is, you can't tell your father he only has an hour to live."
Wow.
So I'm thrust back to my 15-year-old self to go talk to my father, but in the process, I get trapped.
Wow.
So that's where all the movement and all the story goes. So it's a sci-fi piece, very very emotional, very some a lot of truth in it. I had a KC introduced me to you. We had Rashida Ali.
Yeah.
Walsh. She's Muhammad Ali's daughter. Played my mother.
Yeah.
This great actor named uh, what is Green's first name? I can't think of what's Green's first name. I can't think of Green's first name. But anyway, he plays myself as James. I call myself James Wynn. Tremendous actor, and I mean he carries it. He carries it. Kervin Smith again, who played in Playhouse, plays my father. He plays my father, Willie Wynn,
Wow.
and so it was a great experience. And then I have Miguel Nunez. He's playing my dad's attorney friend. He played in Joanna Man, so he's in the film.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a real ride. It's a sci-fi for us, our first sci-fi. So it has some Back to the Future type of things in it. That's my favorite movie. So we're excited
Wow.
about that. So we're
So
looking
real quick,
forward.
can you tell us when we're expecting this to when can we expect to see this and what platforms will we see it on?
You know what? I'm looking to, I'm doing. My goal is to get it in 600 theaters. That's the initial goal. The goal. But then on the platform, it will be on Win Plus, our new platform that's coming in the spring. Win Plus, you'll be able to
Nice.
rent it or watch it on Win Plus. So we're excited about that. So Win Plus is going to be, another type of platform, but it'd be the same. It'd be inspired, but it'd have more different types of movies on there.
Yeah.
So
Dr. Wynn, again, I am so honored to talk to you, sir. Before we leave, please tell everyone again, scream it out loud. How can they follow you? How can they support? How can we be a blessing to what you have already poured back into our communities thus far? How can we bless the Wynn family?
well, one thing, if you just support us if you do go to Win, watch any commercial because it's commercial based. Just call the number, buy something, whatever it is, even if you don't need it. That's one from an economic standpoint. If you want to be a part of us and just want to support us every month, you can support us every month by downloading or going to the new arrivals and pay $5.99 and subscribe and be a part that way. $5.99 is not a lot of money, and support the cause. And please download the Win Network. That's WYNN.com. And we would love you to be connected to us, interact with us. We have prayer that happens, and just let people know, hey, there's a platform that's family friendly. It has good stuff. You can download it uh, and watch it on any device. And if you don't have Roku, you could buy a Roku box for your television or a Fire Stick. You could get it on that platform, or Apple if you get an Apple device, or if you don't have money to go get that, you can always download it on your Apple phone or your Android phone. Go to the App Store, put in Win Network, download it. It's free. And you can watch for free. And that's what we want. The more people that subscribe and tell their friends and family, it's free. It helps us out because, people like to get with you when you get out of reach of them. They don't want to help you while you're in reach. They want to wait till you're out of
Yes,
reach
sir.
and then say, "Oh, I know him, and he don't, and you too far back now because I can't see you." So support
Wow.
the power that we're doing now, and because we're really on a great mission, and we're looking at some great things. So we got a lot of new shows coming up, new documentaries, new movies, new. We got a lot of stuff coming. So just stay tuned and
Awesome.
just be with us in our infancy. So
I'm with you, sir. I'll be with you in your infancy. I think I told you this before. I feel like you're taking off, and I just want to be along for the ride. And listen, it's been a wonderful conversation. I'm so
uh,
thankful to Casey for introducing us,
yes,
and I definitely want to circle back and we do some more of these.
thank you so much, Keith, and everybody. Please hang out with Keith, subscribe to Keith, get you some coffee, and drink it on Keith.
Man, Thank you so much. I appreciate it. God
Thank
bless you, sir. Thank you so much, audience, for tuning in tonight. And we'll talk soon. God bless you.
God bless you.